Good day and welcome to another episode of False Bay TV. Without wasting any more time, let's get straight into the highlights from this past weekend when False Bay took on Durban at Fortress False Bay. Frylinks at the base, gets it off Kun, gets it to Woody, Sali draws the last man, Phyllis down the wing, inside, strength, yes, Phyllis in the corner, yes, and Fat is happy again. Half-time score, False Bay 13, Durban 31, crisis. Here we go, Dole looking, definitely got a sneaky punch in. Quick tap, looks right, gets it off. There he is, the bounce pass. Osman's over in the corner. Stunning stuff, boys. Johnson's on the field, gets to Sia, Sia to Osman, Osman to Sumai, Sumai over the top. It's Yappy, Bunner, Baiter, Punter. Yes, but you biscuit. Johnson at the base again, gives it to Sia, Sia sees space. And that man's going to score a quality try under the sticks. False Bay on attack now. It's Johnson at the base, gets it wide. Osman is going to get over in the corner to secure a win for False Bay. No man, who's cutting onions? And what a comeback by False Bay, taking it 37-34. This week's VSJ is proudly brought to you by Motorplan Direct. Extend your plan with Motorplan Direct. Keep moving. On this week's episode of VSJ, we have a False Bay legend, John Harris. Welcome to the show, John.
Thanks very much, TV.
Pleasure to have you. So just basically, what brought you down to False Bay?
I was playing cricket at Claremont Cricket Club with your dad and Bingo and all those guys. Came to winter and I had nothing to do. And they said, come along to False Bay, which I did.
And you've played rugby around the world. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I've had the good fortune of spending a season in France and then the following season in Italy, learning other cultures, learning some other languages and spreading the word of rugby.
Speaking about cultures, you want to let us know about anything you experienced back over in France or Italy?
I think France was the one that really sticks in my mind. Villager legend Adrien Ross and myself played at a place called La Teste. The first home game, which was Sunday, was always our home game. We were playing and then we had to meet at 10 o'clock and we went for a 5-kilometer run through the forest. Now, running and me don't go well together. So that is a bit of a shock for me. And then we showered and changed and went into the clubhouse and we had a steak and chips for lunch and the guys were drinking wine, passing the wine around. At 3 o'clock we had to run onto a pitch and play a game of rugby. It was quite a shock.
Perfect. And then obviously coming back, playing at False Bay, 93, you hung up your boots. You want to tell us about your involvement at the Bay since then?
I think in 93 I had to stop because I had a back problem and I took over the under-20s because Johan Gerber was transferred. And I took over the 20s for half of that season. And the following year, I got involved and I was nominated onto the committee as club captain. Or please forgive me, it might be 94 that I was involved as club captain when Nick Mallet was with us in 94 and 95. So I played that role. And then after that, I realized that my back injury just needed some rest. And I needed some venting of frustration. So I went back onto the rugby field and played quite a pivotal role in growing the Jocks to the force it was. And then recently, since 2003, I have been involved in the new False Bay, if you want to call it that. And the rest is history. Is history, yeah.
And tell us about some of the characters that have kept you around at False Bay.
Oh, well, there are a couple. On the field, I still remember Craig Wilson, one of the most talented hookers I've ever seen in my life. He was someone who really, I mean, he could kick a ball 60 metres over the poles. He was prodigious. He really was and he was a strong hooker. I played with Graham Dukas, who was extremely strong in the middle there. Taught me a lot as a prop. Brent Jordan, everybody knows Bruder.
Sure.
There were fantastic characters, Graham Gobbers. Off the field, my friendship with your dad continued from a summer friendship to a winter friendship.
Obviously, while you're John, half. Absolute pleasure. Thank you, John. Cheers.
Thank you.
And this week's Kiss Clip of the Week is brought to you by that fabulous online furniture store, Marion Wells.
You have a shoot! 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 Nice Greg Goals! Oh, Greg Goals!
Let's check out this week's False Bay Story Time.
Must have been my second night at False Bay. Second night I walked in to the old False Bay when we still had cages above the bar. Yeah. And Lane Manley, old Wynberg boy, False Bay boy, proceeds to get up onto the bar, looks at Ollie's the guy who started Half Off. You'll know this because he's got a Half Off tattoo
on his wrist, yeah.
On his wrist. But Lane proceeds to look at Ollie, grab a bottle of Archer's peach schnapps and shouts, "Half Off."
Oh, puff, man.
They both smash it. 30 minutes later, they both get carried out. And when I say carried out, back in that day, in the just in the back, we had a couch. They got carried down the corner onto the couch and they slept there.
That's all for this week's episode of False Bay TV. The Bay enjoy a much-deserved break this weekend, a perfect chance to enjoy the World Cup final. If you haven't already, get involved in sportingbet.co.za by clicking on the link below. We'll see you next weekend. Cheers for now.